Hi, my name's Ian Dainty, and today I want to talk to you about why you need social media marketing. And just a very brief background on me. I live in the Toronto area. I have all my life. I've had two successful businesses that I've sold, and now I'm working with local companies, helping them grow through social media. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Now before we start, let's look at some of the issues that you face as a business person. By the way, owning these businesses, so I understand a lot of these things because I've gone through them too. The biggest one right now, of course, is the economy and how it's affecting everybody, how the global economy now affects everybody, especially what's happening in Europe and the U.S. And our economy is struggling along. It's predicted not to grow very much, the Canadian economy. In Toronto, of course, seems to be doing well, but people are still always needing new clients, so the economy can affect us. Running your business, having been a businessman and still am, and having had a business with over 200 employees, I know what it's like running a business, managing people, managing your time, and make sure that everything works smoothly. And then, of course, there are customer issues. Are things going well? Not just customer issues of getting customers, but also repeat customers and then marketing and sales. How do you get more customers through your marketing and sales efforts? And what are those marketing and sales efforts? And that's what I want to talk to you about today with social media. Competition's always big, obviously. You've got competitors, and they are looking for the same business you are in a lot of respects. So how do you outdo them? Financing. Do you need financing to grow? Do you need financing to build your business? And some local businesses do. Don't know whether you do or not, but that can be a factor. And of course, government regulations. You've got to do your books every year and send in HST and taxes and financial statements, etc., to the government. So all of these things affect how your business goes. But the new marketing media, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, obviously, is social media. Social media is the new way to communicate with your customers. And why is that? It's the way most consumers find your business and learn about your company. And I'll go through some of the stats on that as we go through. The real issue here, though, is it really isn't about marketing or social media or etc. These are just simply tools to get what you really want. And this is really about growing your business, beating your competitors, and increasing your wealth. So that's really what you're looking for, obviously, is to increase your wealth. So let's look at some of the ways you can get customers. In offline marketing, which means not internet marketing, you can do newspaper ads that are expensive and you got to pay every time you use it. You can do TV or radio ads. And again, they're expensive. Billboard ads. The problem with all of these is there's no way to measure how effective they are, and they're expensive. I don't have to tell you if you've used any of these at all before. So you've got to find a way to make it more effective to you, more cost effective to you, and also measure. And that's what online marketing is. And really, online marketing is the integration of all online sites and now it's called social media, as opposed to internet marketing. People like to call it social media. And I'll show you the platforms that are involved in a minute. In newspaper circulation for the GTA, just to give you some statistics here, 845,000 people for the 4 papers in the GTA, and that's declining. And yet online marketing, just in Facebook alone, there's 2.7 million users. Now, this was taken a few months ago in the GTA and growing, and I'm sure it's closer to 3 million now, too. So Facebook online media online marketing is the way to go. And of course, here's the problem that you face as a business owner is how do you get new clients? Is social media the key? Because your competitors are all here, and many of them are using social media. If you're not, most of them aren't using it the way they could, and this is a great opportunity to jump in. And as you know, there's which ones do you use and how confusing is it? You've got your blog, and I'm going to get into that in a sec. But let me give you a social media, hopefully, that this is not the way that you're looking at social media with your head in the sand, because that's obviously not a way to be any strategy. But a lot of local businesses do it that way because it is a complex situation and it's difficult to understand. And that's really what I want to clear up here for, and then to help you and give you a way that we can help you do that through my company, Maximize Social Media. Let me give you an example. There's a fellow in the U.S. named Gary Vaynerchuk. grew his business from 4 million to 60 million using social media. Gary has he's written a couple of books. He also uses social media grows. He's a winery, a wine merchant in the U.S., and the way they sell liquor down the U.S. is very different in Ontario, obviously, in Canada. And he used social media. He'd go on every day and talk about wines and different wines and how you should look at them and how you should store them, etc., and all the different wines of the world. And he grew his business using social media. But he also tried other methods. As an example, he tried direct mail. I'm sure you have too, which is sending out mailers to people. Out of that, he got 200 new customers, and it cost him $15,000. He also tried billboards, which are expensive, but he didn't spend as less. However, he got more customers, $7,500. So $22,500, and he got 500 new customers. Now, that sounds great. But in a winery, in a wine business, that's not great. I'm sure depending on your business, if you're, have a big ticket on, it might be greater. But here's what is impressive. He spent $0 on social media and got 1,800 new customers, almost 4 times as many. Now, there is a cost to social media. I'm not going to deny that. And there's if he did it himself, so he had that time. So there's a cost of time for him. So obviously you have to weigh those off one against each other. But it is interesting that he spent zero money because he did it all himself and got 1,800 new customers, almost all on his own. And that's what you need to look at. Let me give you an example of a car company. Audi, they had a community of their own where people went to this community on the web, and almost 40,000 people created customized versions of the new model, the A1, when it came out. 5.5 million people visited their microsite 119 million times. Now, that's pretty impressive. This is around the world, obviously. The company reports that this program helped generate the largest number of car pre-orders in its history, done through social media. Alberta Commonwealth Credit Union, by using their blog, YouTube, which is a video site, and Facebook, they had 2 million impressions, 2,300 new accounts, and $4 million Canadian dollars in new deposits. That's pretty impressive. And this was done by Forrester, which is a research company. AT&T, as you know, is the largest telecom company in the U.S. By using social media in their community, 21,000 customer issues resolved, driving a 16% improvement in call deflections year to year. 16%. Now, maybe you're not in that business, but you can see customer issues and customer calls down by 16% with all the call centers they have, and I'm sure that you've called your own local, whether it's Rogers, AT, or Bell, or whoever it is, once in a while. And so these calls are deflected, and they've been able to cut down. That was a study was done by Lithium Technologies in 2011. So let's look at the different platforms that are involved. Remember I said that internet technology is social media. Your first social media platform should be your website. And no matter what anybody says, people still want to see you have a website. And it's very important that you have a website because people go on and search in Google, and that's what they go to first is your website. You need a Facebook business page these days for local business, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. Facebook, of course, has a huge number of users. I just mentioned in the Toronto area. Google Plus Local is really taking off. Google Search and Google Local, or Google Plus rather, their local is really taking off. I'm going to talk about that in a second, how important it is. YouTube videos are important. Because Google owns YouTube, if you have a video on your site and it's also posted on YouTube, it helps drive traffic. Twitter is becoming big. I'm not sure about local businesses, but there are ways to use Twitter that can also help you drive business. Pay-per-click ads, we believe, are important, particularly in Facebook, which means that you run ads to drive people to your site. And I'll talk about that in a sec. Text messaging, mobile messaging is becoming huge, and it's just going to get bigger. I have 2 kids in their 20s, and they use text messaging all the time. To me, which I've now learned how to use, but it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, as you know. Email is still big, no matter what anybody says. There's still a lot of people that use email and in business and also through personally. So let's look at some social media stats here, just to give you an update. Google has 1 billion searches a day. Now, this is globally, obviously, but 1 billion searches. That's huge. And a lot of them are done in Canada and in Toronto area. because Canada has the biggest internet penetration of any country in the world, and Toronto leads that too. There are over 250 million active users on Twitter. YouTube, 800 million visits per month. People love to watch videos. If you don't have a video on your website, you're missing out on this. Facebook, 900 million active users, is probably close to a billion as we speak, because it changes and growing dramatically. I just mentioned the ones 2.7 in Toronto, very close to 3 million. And here's the key, is that people find you first. Over 80% of people find you first. And that's why things like radio ads and billboards, etc., don't work as much in newspaper ads, because people go on the internet to find you first. And Google Plus, what they've just announced the past month or so, has changed everything for what you do. Let's look at some of Canadian, because I want to talk about Facebook in a bit. As I mentioned, 17.6 million users in Canada on Facebook. Excuse me. 52,000 in the last 6 months in Canada. 9 million active Canadian users a day. And if you take Toronto as about 6 of the population, you can divide that up. Canadians over 400 minutes per month on Facebook. That's over 15 minutes a day. Or 20 minutes a day, rather. 15, sorry. Canadians have 190 friends average, and the rest of the world is 130 friends per user. So we really have a huge penetration of Facebook users too. Now let's look at why social media is around and what the goal is for using social media. As you know, people buy from people. They want to connect from people. And you need to show people you are real and genuine, and that's why people buy from you. They want to realize who you are, you're real and genuine. And people engage with others, and that's what social media's goal is, to help you engage with other people, and that's what our firm does, is help you engage with other people, show you're real, connect with people, and drive leads to your business. That's really what you want to do, is drive leads to your business, and then, of course, you can follow up and talk to people and close them. So that's what we help you do, and I'll talk about what we do in a minute. Again, why social media? Well, as you know, the best way to get new customers is through referrals or word of mouth. Always has been, always will be. That's not going to change. And social media amplifies these two, referrals and word of mouth, by showing what others think of your business. And of course, if somebody recommends your business, that's word of mouth, or somebody refers the business to you, you're going to listen to them. So social media amplifies this, and it's important that you're on social media a lot instead of a lot of these other types of marketing advertising. So why social media? Well, it's where your prospects and clients are looking for you, as I just mentioned. It's easier and faster than offline. You can measure it, you can get results, you can change it quickly, etc. You can test. That's what's really key. It helps you establish your credibility and trust by what other people are saying about you. It's measurable. So you can measure whether you're doing it or not, and you can change it quickly and say, this isn't working, this is, so we'll use this instead of that. And so you know what your ROI is and your payback, return on investment. You know what a lead costs you. You know what a customer costs you. And so you can put your money where you're going to get your business. And also, it's just a fun way to connect. It's a fun way to talk to people. So what's the formula for social media? You've got all of these websites and platforms over here on the left, and the idea is to draw them into a funnel magnet through a magnet and churn them out, and you get cash at the end. You get money. People buy from you. So let's look at it. What you want to do is attract leads and then convert them to sales. The first thing you have to do, as I said, is get attention. You want to engage with people, and then therefore you want to capture leads by doing that. Once you get your leads, you establish your credibility, and you start bonding with the prospect. Then you start talking to them about what you do and the things they can do with you, so you're creating desire, and then you ask them to do something. You have a call to action. So that's really the formula for social media, and that's what our company does. It runs through it. And if you're running it yourself, you know how sophisticated it can be to do it right. Like anything. Like your own business is sophisticated to do it right, and it takes training to do it right. So that's why you should have a professional do this for you. Now you've got 3 options for your social media marketing strategy. You can do nothing. And of course, if you do nothing, you're not going to get more customers this way, obviously. But this is the way your customers look for you, So your business will decline if that's your option. You can do it yourself or hire internally, hire somebody to come and work for you to do it. One of the issues with social media, as you know, it's sophisticated and it's changing all the time. The web is changing all the time. Now, do it yourself. There are some local businesses that have their salespeople do it, like car dealers. But I mean, the car dealers wouldn't tell the salespeople to go fix the cars. So doing it yourself or giving it to your IT or somebody else who really doesn't know about it is the wrong way to go. And you can hire, but that's going to cost you too. It's going to cost you $4,000 to $5,000 a month plus benefits and management, etc. To go hire somebody to do it. Where if you did engage and hired a professional agency, it's not going to cost you that much. And of course, as a professional agency with over 50 people and over 200 clients, we're constantly looking for how it's changing and etc. And this is applied to you, and therefore we help you. So when you hire an agency, you're hiring all the people in that agency, just not one or two people. And that's what our company does. Well, let's look at what are some of the ideas to consider. Do you want to grow? Most companies do. If you do want to grow, then you've got to look at social media. You've got to have marketing that's ongoing and consistent if you want to grow. And that's what social media does. It's ongoing, it's daily, and we make sure it's consistent with the message you want to get out. You just can't run a newspaper ad every once in a while and hope things work out. You've got to have ongoing and consistent marketing. That's what this does. Online or offline. There is still some offline stuff that works. As you know, I've used some offline with you, but online is really important. I find a lot of local businesses don't look online, whereas their customers might, but they don't look online to see what's going as much. So that's why offline can still work, but it's a little bit more expensive. Again, as I mentioned earlier, 80% find you now first online. And even if you do send an offline, like a direct mailing, like I've just done, then a lot of people will then go online to find you to see what you're doing before they would engage you. Yes, there's an investment to make, but it's not as big as offline, and it's ongoing and consistent. And now there's an extraordinary opportunity to jump on this to make it your marketing or way to market, and you'll see huge improvements in your business. So what is a social media marketing service? Well, we like to look at Facebook to start with. And what we do is we post daily. We look at pictures and videos. You ever look at a company's Facebook business page, that's what it should have. Comments from people that talk, and we'll work with you on how we comment back. Put in terms of items of interest that'll people. Show that you are social. Show that you're human. As an example, we just had Independence Day in the U.S. and Canada Day here, Father's Day in June, Mother's Day in May. So items of interest that are around. What's the local hockey team doing? We won't talk about the Leafs. But all those things help. It's not just business. But we do run contests and deals for you, and that's really how you then generate the leads. The other thing we do is we use Facebook ads to make you go viral. That is, to spread the word across the local internet. And Facebook ads, you can target them demographically and geographically. So we would just target people in the Toronto area. And if you wanted to do demographics, what people like, etc., that's something we talk about. So we work with you and do that, but we do all of this for a single fee a month. It doesn't go up or down unless you add more platforms. That's for your Facebook. And it includes the Facebook ads that we run for you. You can't find this anywhere else. You can't hire somebody to do this for you, and certainly not as well as we can with over 50 people doing it. Google Plus Local. Let's have a look at it for a minute. You also need to be on Google Plus Local. So when somebody types, if you're a contractor, let's say, and they want a contractor in Toronto, your name has to come up. Or if you're a dentist and they want a dentist in Toronto, your name has to come up, and there has to be a little map, as you've seen those. That's Google Plus Local. That's part of it. And Google wants to dominate search. It does already, but it wants to go even further. And Yahoo and Bing, although they're websites that help you do search, very few people use them, and most people use Google. So Google Plus Local is very important. You need a Google Plus strategy to be found on the web, and that's why Google just changed their Google Plus. It's a new It's kind of like a Facebook platform, but it really helps you find people locally, which you are. More value on Google Plus Local than SEO now, search engine optimization, if you're familiar with that term. How people find you is really going to depend on social media and on Google Plus. There's more value on social media, as I just mentioned, than SEO. It's greater than SEO. So with Google Plus, social media platforms, people are going to find you because Google puts more value on these, on its own platform, obviously, Google Plus, and other social media platforms. And there's 10 major factors for Google Plus Local that we can have a quickly look at, and over 100 other factors. So there's all kinds of things that you have to understand with Google Plus Local to make it work. As an example, you must have your address in the city formatted a certain way. The complete and proper categories or keywords. Are people finding you? Are you using the right keywords in all your social media platforms? Domain authority for a website, particularly if you have, like if you're a plumber, as an example, and you have Toronto Plumbing, that's more effective than, as an example, Toronto Leak Repairs or something. So people may look for that, but something like that. And you need the right, what's called NAP, name, address, and phone number. Places across the web have to be very consistent. So all of this has to be set up for people to find you. Customer reviews on Google+. Now people have to be on Google to give you a review. But reviews, of course, social networking, and these are what make people come to you. They go to the web, they read the reviews to see who you are. So you need those. Quality authority of structured citations. And that, of course, is right across the web. Structured citations are directories. As an example, the Internet Yellow Pages, if you're on there, that's a structured citation. So what is the quality and authority? Is it consistent, as I mentioned, across the web for all of these things? So you have to have all of these things for social media. But, here's the big but. This is how you're going to get more business. This is how people find you, over 80%, and that's just growing, okay? So let's wrap up here and look at the conclusions then. That's what we're going to give you, and that's what I want to talk to you about. Buyers are online savvy and aware that shopper and research resources are available to them with ease online. They're not as easy to find as to go to a library and look them up, but with online they can. And over 80% of people now look for you online. Social media will drive more purchase influence than all advertising. As an example, people, if you're not on social media when they go online, A, they're not going to find you, but B, they don't feel that maybe you're as reliable as you are because you're not on social media where they're looking for you. And proper branding will drive users to utilize research for your brand. So your branding, if you're a Toronto plumber, Toronto Plumbing Services, etc., you're a dentist, Vape Avenue Dentistry, whatever it is, have your brand, have people find you, and that's what we're going to help you do. So remember the real issue. This really isn't about marketing, because marketing, social media, etc., are simply methods to get you what you really want, but you need to do them what you really want. And what's the real issue? This really is about growing your business, beating your competitors, and increasing your wealth. So that's really what you want, obviously. I will assume that's what you want, because as a business person, that's what I wanted. So what's the next step for you then? Well, I want you to contact me. I didn't put in the email. I thought it'd be easier if you're iandainty@rogers.com, or call me. Give me a call at your convenience, and let's have a chat about how social media is going to help you grow your business, beat your competitors, and grow your wealth. Thanks a lot. I look forward to hearing from you.